The last 2 years had us all way more aware of what was going on for everyone in our team. I spoke to lots of leaders, and they were fully aware of everything that everyone was dealing with. Through the pandemic, that was enough to deal with, but some people were dealing with extra, i.e., maybe they had parents at home or young kids at home, or maybe they're extreme extroverts and they were living by themselves. Everyone had their own piece to deal with. And we became more aware of that in our team members, or many of the leaders that I was working with did it anyway. I think this is a really important lesson and something that leaders should be doing all the time. Now, I know not everyone always wants to share what they're dealing with, but as a leader, you should be aware, even if there's just something that they're dealing with that maybe they don't want to talk to you about, but they should be able to come and say to you, look, I'm dealing with something. I might not be myself. And the pandemic really brought this to the forefront because, I mean, it was hard enough to deal with as it is. We're in a space right now where we don't even know the long-term effects of this. Years ago, I was reading something about when the first atomic bomb hit and how it changed the way humans behave. Now the world didn't seem like something that was going to last forever. We were a little more willing to be a bit more of a throwaway society. And it changed the way we view things. The pandemic is going to change us in other ways as well. I'm already seeing people pulling away from being dependent on food coming in from far away. Where I live, we have winter a lot of the year, and I'm seeing lots of people bring in gardens and hydroponics and things so that we can actually get the food closer to us. Farmers markets are getting bigger and bigger every year. So there are some things already changing, and it'll take a while for us to see all of the changes that this is going to bring. But I think one of the main things is that we don't even know how it's affected us until we get out of it. And the example I have for that is this. I got to go to my first Toastmaster conference in 2 years. And I was so excited to see the people that I haven't now seen in 2 years. These are people I've seen regularly over many years. And then all of a sudden for the last 2 years, I only got to see them on Zoom. So we laughed a little bit about, oh, look, people have bodies, or the surprise of people, how tall people were, or how short they were, because we've never actually seen them anywhere but on Zoom. And it was a lot of fun, but I didn't realize until that moment how much I've really missed that. I think it was in the back of my mind, but it wasn't something that was in the forefront all the time. We got to go, we got to dance and have some fun. And it was just an amazing weekend for simply just that. I also got to meet some great new people and see them succeed in contests and things like that. So it was just a wonderful weekend of getting back. And I didn't realize how much I'd really been missing that until I got there. So sometimes it's hard to see all of the things that we've learned, but we all could take a moment and think about what was important to us before the pandemic and what are we comfortable getting back into now. I personally was very comfortable being there. The place did require masks. That wasn't really a concern of mine at this point. I made sure that when I went, I was keeping my immune system high just in case. But otherwise, really just enjoyed the time. So as a leader, be aware of what your team needs now. I was also just talking to someone who had a team building day where they actually brought everyone back together, because for some teams, they haven't even seen each other in 2 years. So that's a really good time to really get back to all the things that used to be important to your team and find out what's going to work for everyone. There are still people afraid. Hey, Roger, good to see you as well. There are still people that were afraid to be stepping out like that. I saw a friend a couple weeks ago, and she's still very nervous about things and still being very cautious, and that's okay. So talk to your team members, see what they need, and what they need in both respects, as far as getting back together and doing that team building, but what's going to make them do it in a comfortable way. Hope you're having an amazing week. We are finally getting to do some planting up where I live. It takes us a little bit longer to do some of that. Our flowers are just coming out now. And as always, if you want to have a conversation about this or anything else, if you're struggling in your leadership role, please do take me up on the offer. I do free 20-minute calls at any time. There is no obligation. It's just a conversation. And that will be in in the comments wherever you're watching this. So have a wonderful week, and I'll be back again same time next week.